Hey guys, welcome back to another new interesting podcast. Today we have Gaurav Bhaiya. Gaurav Bhaiya is SDE in Bank of New Zealand.
Yep.
So he is from New Zealand. So in this video we will talk about like how you can get job in New Zealand from India or from your regional country. So this podcast will very interesting and useful for you if you want to get job in New Zealand. So you know guys, New Zealand is a very beautiful country. So and work-life balance of New Zealand is very extreme level good. So let's talk about in this podcast. So before we starting the video, what you have to do is do support and let's get started. So welcome Gaurav, over to you.
Thank you. So my name is Gaurav and no, I'm not from New Zealand. I am from India. So I was born in Bihar, did my schooling and college in Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, and after that I got a job in Bhopal. There I worked for a period of 3 or 4 years, and then I moved to TCS. Then I went to Deloitte in Mumbai. So there I was for 5 years, and after that I decided to do something adventurous. So I moved to New Zealand, and that's where I'm currently. And I changed some jobs there in New Zealand also. So when I went there was a small company called IT. I was working there, and then I went to Ministry of Education. I worked there for 9 months, and then I joined Bank of New Zealand. I'm working there currently.
Oh, cool.
So that's about me.
Okay, but suppose now I'm a student, like I can be in first year, second year, third year or final year.
Yes.
So through this podcast, now I want to do job in New Zealand.
Okay.
So I'm a student. So what should I do in my first step for getting job in New Zealand? I'm a fresher, I am a student.
Okay, so there are two ways actually. One, you can go via a student path, or second you can go via a job path. So there are certain courses in New Zealand, preferably in IT I would say. There are different streams also, so you can take one of those courses which would give you work visa as well to work in New Zealand. So that is one way. Second way is New Zealand is very friendly to immigrants, and they welcome immigrants because they have a population of like 5 million. So they welcome immigrants, and you can take that path. So getting a job in New Zealand is not really that hard. All you need to be is a skill, and employers, they are happy to pay, give you job offer without being there. So you can process your visa using that.
Okay, and if I have experience in 2 years or 4 years experience, then what will be my path?
So that is my case, because as I told, I was in India and I was working in India for I would say I had worked in India for 8 years or so. And then at that time there was a job visa called talent work visa, which was there for people who have got skills which are not there in New Zealand. So there was a list of companies, you call it accredited employers. So around 104 IT companies were there. So what I would say is someone who wants to do that, they should go and check that list and find jobs in those companies and then apply in those companies.
Nice. And we heard about the work-life balance in New Zealand. So can you explain in brief about the work-life balance?
So work-life balance in New Zealand is extremely good, I would say, because me and none of my friends whom I know in New Zealand have worked on weekends in last 3 years. Also, we have never extended beyond 4. So we usually start our day at 9 a.m. in the morning, and then we'll finish our day at 3:30 or 4. Also, the work-life balance is good because I've seen sometimes people, going for cycling or going to pick up their babies in the office time, and nobody would bother much about it. So that's how cool it is in New Zealand.
Wow, sounds very interesting. If we are talk about interview process, so from which resources you followed for preparing the interview, and how many interview rounds there?
I was kind of lucky in this because I had applied for just first job and I got selected in that only.
Wow.
So yeah, it was funny for me. So again, as I told you, there are a list of companies. So someone who wants to go there probably take a job from that company, apply. And interviews in New Zealand are also not as tricky as in India, because in India they grill you more on technical side. However, in New Zealand they focus more on your behavioral side. They want to see how good team fit you are, how you can mingle with the culture. So those things are important for them, because what they believe is that if they get you, they can train you. So I'll tell you my story. So I had just applied in this particular company. HR, she called me and she told that we want to schedule an interview with you, and first would be HR round. So in New Zealand, I think most of the companies, they do first HR round, in which they will talk about your culture, your work history, and how you can fit in the team. And once they find you fit, then they will probably set up an interview with some technical person who will take a technical round. Post that, there will be just one round for the salary discussions in most of the cases, and that's how it has been so far.
Oh, nice. It's not too much hard like in India.
Yeah, the reason behind that is that because in New Zealand they don't have many technical people. That's why they appreciate people coming from the other countries. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. Next question is, like if I'm fresher, got offer from New Zealand, so how much salary I can expect if I am fresher or if I have 2 or 4 years of experience?
So you are saying the experience is not in New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
So thing about New Zealand is when someone hires you, they would not pay you that much initially, because they want to see that how good you are with the New Zealand culture, and that thing is very important for them. They are okay if you have less technical skills, but they want that you should be good in mingling with the culture or mixing up with the people there, right? So initially, when anyone would go to New Zealand, they would not pay that much. It will be a decent salary compared to the market, but you can still go for the higher range once you're there. For like in my example, I had gone for a certain salary, and then after 3 months I felt that I'm being paid less as compared to market. So I reached out to my employer and told him that I'm feeling something like that. They just increased my salary then and there. So yeah, it is like that.
So yeah, let's share some resources from where you have applied, and from where we should apply for job, like from LinkedIn or there is some specific website.
Yes. So in New Zealand, LinkedIn is primarily used for job search and talent hunt. So if you want to apply for a job in New Zealand, go to LinkedIn. Apart from that, there's a website called seek.nz, which is equivalent to naukri.com that we have in India, right? So you can apply from Seek or LinkedIn.
Wow. Yeah, can you give some advice, like how we should prepare for like our resume, like submitting? So
yeah. Resume building is it's important, because that is something that your employer would see. So one thing that I would suggest anyone is that don't put that the people put generic line that I want to be in an organization which can challenge my potential and those things. Don't put something like that. Put something that you're aiming. Like for example, I was into testing in India, and then I had to go for ETL. So I had to put it like that I have 11 years of experience in data migration, conversion, and those kind of testing, and I want to utilize that skill in my future role. So put something like that. Also, always make it relevant. So if you're applying for a job, one suggestion which I would give is that never use same CV for all the jobs, right? Try if you can change it based on the job, and play with the words, play with the description, because what employers do, they will go and search on LinkedIn, and the keyword should be there in your CV, or it should be there in your profile, right? So things like that are important in making a CV.
Nice.
One important resource which I can suggest here is that there is a website called Credle.io. So that website has got very good template in CV making, and if you go there, anyone can use that website, make a very nice CV. I've been using that for good 6 or 8 years. Like no, not 6 or 8, 4 or 5 years. When I was in Deloitte, I started using it, and I've made so many CVs from there, and everyone liked it. So I recommend that.
Thank you for this. And Bhaiya, can you give some advice who wants to follow career like you, getting job in New Zealand? Like we can say summary of this video. Like
A summary of this video, again, I started from a very small company in Bhopal. So from there I went to TCS, and then I worked for 9 months, and after that Deloitte. So Deloitte, I got promotions also. I was doing good in Deloitte, but just I wanted to do something abroad. So I tried some other countries also. Netherlands was there, and US was there. So for New Zealand, application process is very easy. Visa process is also very easy, because they appreciate migrants. So I followed that path, and if someone wants to do that, that's the process.
And thank you so much, Bhaiya, for your advice. And guys, if you get some very really useful advice or information from this podcast, so what you have to do is support and share with your friends also. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.